Before kings ruled Israel, before temples were built and crowns were forged, there was a woman, a prophetess who sat beneath a palm tree, and from there led an entire nation. When men trembled in fear, she rose with divine courage. Her name was Deborah, a mother in Israel, a leader anointed not by throne or bloodline, but by the Spirit of the living God. In an age when chaos ruled and enemies oppressed, Deborah's voice became the sound of heaven's command. This is her story. The land of Israel was weary. For 20 long years, the people lived under the cruel hand of Jabin, king of Canaan. His commander, Sisera, had 900 iron chariots, unstoppable war machines that struck terror into Israel's heart. Once again, the children of Israel cried out to God for deliverance. And God answered through a woman named Deborah. She was both prophetess and judge. Every day she sat under the palm of Deborah in the hill country of Ephraim, settling disputes, giving counsel, and delivering the word of the Lord. People came from every tribe to hear her wisdom, for the Spirit of God rested upon her. Then one day the Lord spoke, "Go, summon Barak son of Abinoam from Kadesh in Naphtali. Tell him I will give Sisera, commander of Jabin's army, into his hands." Deborah obeyed. She called Barak and delivered God's command. But Barak hesitated. He said, "If you go with me, I will go. But if you do not go with me, I will not go." And Deborah, fearless and resolute, replied, "I will go with you. But because of your hesitation, the honor will not be yours, for the Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman." So they rose and went to war. 10,000 men from Naphtali and Zebulun followed, and Deborah went up with them, not as a warrior with sword and shield, but as a prophet with divine authority. When the day of battle came, Sisera's chariots thundered across the plains of Kishon. The earth trembled, and the armies of Israel seemed hopelessly outmatched. But Deborah lifted her voice and cried, "Arise, Barak! For this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands." Then heaven moved. Dark clouds gathered. A violent rain flooded the valley, and the mighty iron chariots became trapped in the mud. Confusion struck Sisera's forces, and Israel surged forward with divine power, routing the enemy. Sisera fled on foot, alone, desperate, and defeated. He sought refuge in the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. She welcomed him, offered him milk, and let him rest. But while he slept, Jael took a tent peg and a hammer, and struck it through his temple, ending his reign of terror. When Barak arrived, Jael showed him the fallen commander, and the prophecy was fulfilled. The Lord delivered Sisera into the hands of a woman. That day, God gave Israel victory, and the land had peace for 40 years. Deborah's story is not just ancient history, it is divine inspiration. She reminds us that God's call is not bound by gender, status, or fear. When others stay silent, He raises voices of courage. When leaders falter, He lifts the willing. Deborah didn't need armor to be powerful, she needed obedience. She didn't need a throne to be influential, she needed faith. Her life teaches us this truth. The strength of a believer is not found in physical might, but in spiritual surrender. So when the world feels dark, when the battle feels too great, remember Deborah, the prophetess under the palm tree, whose faith shook nations and silenced oppressors. Because God still calls Deborahs today, men and women who will rise, hear His voice, and lead their generation with courage and conviction.